Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Welcome to our channel. And this morning, the topic is I was gonna ask Ben and Isaac.
Who's Bill?
Bill's over there. Ask Ben and Isaac. I've had some people asking, well, why don't you do a video on, what would their life look like, 5 years from now? I'll start with Ben. If in your ultimate condition, 5 years from now, where could you? What do you envision your life looking like, or what are you going to be doing in regard to regenerative agriculture?
I mean, it's 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 sort of obviously there's no way to know like what's going to happen, and I feel like part of me has like a similar attitude towards when I started here, or when I came on my visit to apply here. I kept thinking like, I just don't know necessarily what I don't know, if that makes any sense. And so like there's a set of like ideas and stuff floating around my head now, but it might be totally different in a year and a half, 2 years from now. You just never really know what's going to happen. But with that being said, from like where I sit now, I mean, I would like to be I would like to obviously be doing more of this. I think in a managerial position of some kind, whether that means like running my own operation, whether that means running somebody else's operation. I'd be interested in learning more in the next like 5 years about like what this looks like at a bigger scale, like as opposed to like we do 350 head roughly, but like what does it look like with 1,000 head or more? That's something that interests me. And then also, I mean, like, I think a piece to that too, like if you're thinking about like larger numbers, is you're going to have to rely more on the direct to market beef sales. Is going to have to be a portion of that business. So that's another aspect that we don't do a lot of here. And so it would be another thing that I'd be interested in. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, looking at scale, looking at what, what the like direct to market beef avenue would look like. I don't know. That's really sort of what I got.
Yeah. Point. Well, I know you mentioned several times your path to regenerative agriculture was from the soil health and and human health.
Yeah. Yep. I came at it from like I majored in environmental science in college, and that's sort of like the angle that I came at this from, and it sort of still is, that I believe that it's such a crazy solution to a lot of global issues. And so to me, it's like the lofty like sort of goal is like the most land area that can be under this kind of management, the better off we're going to be. And so that's why I'm interested in what this starts to look like at like a larger operation, because I feel like if this is going to make a big impact, like I think it can,
yes,
there's always going to be a place for producers of this size or even smaller, but there's also going to start to be a role for producers that are significantly larger. And so
correct.
What does that look like? Because it's not really, I mean, it's being done a little bit, but it's not this like largely accepted operation of.
So you're talking about something that could affect a large land mass.
Yeah. And feed a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And you've seen the amount of labor it takes to do this. It doesn't matter if you've got 20 head or if you've got 2,000 head.
Yeah.
It's the more you can put together in a mob, the bigger horsepower engine you have for reclaiming the land.
Yeah. And obviously there's got to be some pieces to that where you're going to have to change some things in a management perspective.
Yep.
And, ways of doing things to adjust to those kinds of numbers. But that's like something that gets me super interested, because a lot of it will be the same, but there's a lot that's going to have to be adjusted in order to accommodate that many animals. So.
Yes. For instance, on your water, we can get by with an 800 gallon tank with 350 to 400 head, but if you got 2,000, now you're going to need maybe a 10,000 gallon tank.
Like that.
You just got to do the numbers on it.
Yeah.
My good friend Vanny in Texas, he's running 2,000 head, and he's had to go back and change his water.
I bet.
And bigger pipe, bigger delivery, and bigger tanks. Because when you get 2,000 head together on a hot day, that's a lot of water consumption.
Yep.
So, well, Isaac, kind of the same question to you. Where do you envision yourself being here in say 5 years from now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no way to know for sure, but my like dream is obviously to go back home, start from there, start on my own.
Where's home?
Home in Michigan.
What part of Michigan?
Southern Michigan, right on the Indiana border.
Okay.
But as far as like starting up, there's like so many different paths that I'm like open to, you know. Like I'm not set in stone any way.
Right.
Like maybe that looks like starting out working for somebody, like managing this guy's herd, like simultaneously managing my own, like building my own business.
Correct.
Something that I'm able to, you know, support myself, maybe be looking at starting a family or something. We'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, my dream definitely is to start back home. And my big thing coming here is like, I love to like, I see like the benefits of it both in the land and in like the food that you produce, and just being able to provide that healthy food for like my community. That's what really gets me jazzed up, so to speak.
Right.
So, yeah, that's kind of my passion, and my direction that I want to head someday is to have my own place. And
well, there is a difference in the meat.
yeah,
we found that out last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's like no comparison. I mean,
I didn't share this with you all yet, but we went to eat last night and took Ben and Isaac and Jan and I. We went out to a nice restaurant.
It was delicious.
It was good, and so I shared what I had with the boys, and I was the only one that ordered on the menu beef. And I ordered the tenderloin, which I normally don't even eat beef when I go out, but I'm going to try it one time. Well, I ate, you know, the majority of that. I gave you all a little piece in Jan, and the first thing out of Ben's mouth was,
I thought it was really good, but it was just so different from the beef that
it was like
eating.
bland.
Yeah.
it didn't have any flavor.
No,
Yeah.
it was like,
It was tender, but you know what? The more I ate it, guys, the more it tasted to me like sour liver.
Huh.
It did. It left
Yeah.
a sour liver taste in my mouth.
yeah.
And then I didn't share this with y'all, but man, did I get a really, really bad stomach upset on that piece of meat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the meat was, maybe it shouldn't have been thawed out so long. I don't know what it was. It could have been the harm, you know, whatever was in the meat. Probably it was a big majority of it. But golly, for about an hour and a half, I'm like, that's it. No more.
Done.
It's Green Pastures meat, or I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah. Another big thing that like I want to focus on too is obviously up in Michigan it's a little colder than here.
Correct.
So there's going to be definitely some adjustments. Like I'm not going to be able to replicate this to the T
No.
in Michigan
No.
just because of that. So that's kind of like exciting to me, is like it's like a new kind of perspective. Like
Right.
how can I adjust it to this?
Learn your
environment?
boundaries.
Yeah. And then like
Yep.
be an example to others in that area. Like, oh, I found this out. You can try this
Yep.
and do that. So that's another thing that kind of excites
I
me.
think there's a huge opportunity out there for you folks, you young guys. If you get this management underneath your skill level, where you know what you're doing, and you go back. I don't care where you all end up at, you're going to do well, and that's because you've got enough time now. You've seen all the 4 seasons. You're getting ready to go into winter now. That's probably the toughest season, but I think that's important for young people to get that winter season under them, especially you, Isaac. You know, going back to Michigan, you're going to have a more brutal winter than what we are.
Yeah.
But you'll learn the right genetics, the right hair coat. You're going to learn, you know, the animals in our herd that have the best hair, they're the ones that do the best in the winter. So in Michigan, you might need something a little bit different animal than what we have here.
It's like the principles of grazing and managing the stockpile and the grass. It all applies to the different areas, but it's like
Yes.
the fundamentals, or like the basics.
Right.
They change, or like the nitty gritty stuff. So
You bet.
um,
Well, guys, thank you for sharing that with me, and I just wanted to kind of cover that. I've had a lot of people ask about it. Why don't you ask the boys what they're going to be doing in 5 years? And I thought that's a good topic. So we covered that. It's a beautiful morning here. We're almost to December, and the boys and I are going to be catching the rams on Monday. Tuesday's December 1st. We'll probably catch them on Monday and maybe get them in one day early.
Oh, they're gonna luck out.
So we'll be having that where they come out of the trailer, and boy, they're happy to see the girls.
yeah, they are.
We took them out in July, and they'll be going back in December 1st, and that'll give us May 1st lambing. And you all have already went through one lambing. It's just a ton of work, isn't it?
Oh man, it's awesome.
He's joking. If you set it up right, it won't be, but if you set it up wrong, it'll be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
How many times did we assist last year with a lamb?
0.
We didn't.
What'd you say?
0.
I think we caught a lamb once and put it back in the flock, so maybe once.
Yeah,
No,
but we didn't
we didn't
assist anything lambing.
Pull anything or doing C-sections or anything like that.
No. Yeah.
Stayed out of it.
And they did well.
Oh yeah.
We averaged 1.8 1.8 lambs per ewe last year. That's the highest we've ever done, and that's with no grain, no supplements. Just grass and winter stockpiles. So that's pretty good when you can keep your costs down like that and still average that high of almost twins. So that's awesome. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. You all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button on the way out, and that like, and I appreciate it. And we'll see you all down the road. Take care.